If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then this image says it all. The winds along the Outer Banks are some of the strongest and most sustainable along the entire East Coast. The seabirds take advantage of the winds. They stay aloft by gliding and riding the winds, not flapping their wings. There's a lot of energy in the wind. But here's another picture. Those winds and waves and beaches attract hundreds of thousands of visitors each year.
We do have a booming tourism industry here in North Carolina, and we have to be very careful to make sure that these two activities can coexist. We desperately want to develop wind in that context.
And that is the challenge. Is it possible to take advantage of North Carolina's wind energy resources? And if so, how can the wind energy be collected without harming tourism? The solution so far is to go far offshore.
So that's where you look. You look for those areas where you can get the stable, certainly high speed, but stable wind to allow high capacity factors for these turbines. When you go to the expense of buying these very large turbines and installing them, you'd like for them to produce power as much of the time as possible.
The first leases allowing wind turbines offshore of North Carolina's coast are expected to be let in 2016. The Federal Bureau of Ocean Energy Management has identified 3 areas for potential leases. One is about 120,000 acres off the Outer Banks, while the other 2 are tracts of 130,000 acres and 52,000 acres just south of Wilmington and east of Myrtle Beach.
It enables a lessee, a developer, to start to assess the site that they've leased and determine whether or not it can be done effectively. And it takes a while to do the site assessment. It takes a while to do develop a construction and operations plan, and that all of those in and of themselves are on the neighborhood of 5 years or so. So it's sometime after that before they're actually putting working wind farm components in.
All 3 locations are about 12 miles out to sea. That's about 24 nautical miles. And officials say the turbines would not be visible from shore. But that also makes the wind farm much more complicated and expensive to build, which means much more study of the location and the specific designs and construction of the turbines will be needed.
That includes the economics, the technological feasibility, the environmental acceptability, as well as any social or political impacts. All of these are things that have to be considered in making a final decision on what to go forward with.
And they've basically developed a system that works relatively well on land. Anything we do in the ocean is going to be a lot different in terms of foundations, in terms of the external environmental forces, the impact of how we would connect something in the ocean to the grid, and let's say the effect of that connection electromagnetically on the organisms that are living in the ocean.
It's likely wind farms will be in operation off the coasts of Rhode Island and Virginia before any turbines are built off North Carolina's coast, and state officials say that's not a bad thing.
And that is just to the north of us, and it will be 24 nautical miles offshore. It'll be a small 13 or so megawatt facility, but we're going to be able to learn a lot about how offshore wind operates in in Hurricane Hallie, so to speak. We'll also be able to learn more about this question of a view shed and whether 24 nautical miles is needed to protect that or whether there's some other number. And we're going to learn other things. So North Carolina's very interested to see that.